up and down days, you always kind of got to look ahead, right? Look at the next day coming and that kind of thing. Yeah.
Keep paddling. That's my motto right there.
Yeah.
My nickname is Duck. So I always, I had that nickname ever since I was a baby, right? So in the mindset of a duck, right? Duck just always got to keep paddling.
Because I see that on your Instagram, how you put the duck after every post. I was wondering what that was up about.
Yeah, that's my nickname.
Nice. Since you were like 4 or 5 years old or something, or how young?
Oh man, literally before I once I started to kind of walk, right? Like it started with my grandmother. I took my first steps kind of at their house, at my grandparents' house when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started to walk, I'm very bow-legged, as you guys can see. But as I started to walk, I would waddle like a duck. And so my grandma started calling me Duck, and then boom, it solidified from there. So everybody in the hood, you know what I'm saying? My cousins, my aunts, my uncles, my mom, my dad, everybody just kind of took it on. And I used to hate that nickname as a kid, right? But as I grew up and I started to learn a little bit more about wildlife, right? And about, ducks in general, to be more specific. I kind of thought it was cool because, a duck is, when you see a duck as a human, right? You see a duck above the water. The duck is calm as it's, just floating on that water. Mm-hmm. It's calm. It looks, good. It's very majestic and everything. And, but up underneath that water, the feet of the duck is like paddling crazy. It's like going insane. Just if you could see the duck up underneath that water. And so it's crazy that I used to hate my nickname and now I love it because it's kind of a metaphor for who I am and where I am in my life. And that is, above the surface. If you look at my Instagram, if you just look without digging into it, you would say, oh my gosh, this guy's so cool and calm. He has everything together and, everything's going great. And I try to stay the course and be calm, but up underneath the surface, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of paddling that goes along with being able to stay cool and being able to ride smooth on the water. So now I love
and for football, like that's such it's so applicable to football and sports in general because there's so many up and downs, right? When you have a good game, 10 catches, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns kind of thing. Yeah. Really up, right? And then there's good games where like you're in a slump. So people, I think athletes, they get caught up in that and they're like an emotional roller coaster, right? They're going up and down. But if you can have like you said, almost the mentality or have kind of like the, be like a duck, I guess, and stay even keel helps you get through these tough times. Yeah.
Yeah. Keep paddling, man. Yeah.
How's your off season going? You have a plan or a date to come back to the Hammer?
Oh man. I really don't have a date per se just yet to be back in the Hammer. I still kind of want to figure out my living situation and things like that before I get back up that way. But until then, I'm grinding right now. I know I got a couple months. Training camp starts mid-May. So I'm kind of peaking right now on my training and everything's going good. I'm just grinding, I'm excited.
Obviously, last season for you guys didn't end the way you wanted it to, getting so close and coming up a bit short. How hard is it to kind of pick out the good of a season when you get so close to the end goal but just fall short?
Well, first of all, the season was definitely successful.
You guys set the franchise record for wins.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It was definitely historic, right? Mm-hmm. Literally historic. So I'm proud of that. I'm proud to be a part of something like that. I'm proud to have a hand in helping that organization do something that's going to be marked in history. And hopefully this year we can go down in history again, be even better, and finally get that Grey Cup that we've been desperately chasing these last couple of times. The Ticats haven't been able to make it happen, but we're just going to keep on going, keep pedaling. And this year, I feel like we have what it takes to definitely contend with a team like Winnipeg, with a team like Calgary, with a team like Ottawa. It's just this is a lot of this league is for real right now. So we got to come ready.
Did you have any impressions of the CFL like before you started playing in it? Did you kind of have any idea of like what the talent level was or like what the fans were and stuff like that? Or was it completely unknown to you?
Nah, I didn't really I didn't know anything about like CFL football. A CFL is kind of something that I used to see it right on TV, but I never like just sat there and like watched it. I would be like, oh, it's a CFL game. And then I would just do something else. But yeah, so that's where that's at. I don't really have too much familiarity, whatever that word is, with the CFL. So no.
What was kind of your decision like process of going to the CFL? Because I know you spent some time with the Steelers, most notably. Obviously left the Steelers in some capacity to get to the CFL. Was it a hard decision to make to move not only, I mean, to a different league, but to a different country in general? Even though Flint is, not too far from Canada.
Yeah, we're actually fun fact, Flint and Hamilton, sister cities.
That's right.
Shout out to the Olympic. Shout out to the gosh, what is they called? I used to play in these, and now it's going to tear me up. Hamilton and Flint are sister cities. The Canusa.
Gotcha.
Shout out to the Canusa games. There you go.
I was going to say Pan Am. I'd be way off.
Yeah. Canusa. So, yeah, man, making that transition. First of all, the decision to go was fairly simple. Just like my decision to Pittsburgh, the Hamilton Tiger Cats was the only team that had interest in me. Just like when I went to the NFL, because I came from Northern Michigan University, the Pittsburgh Steelers were the only team that, gave me a shot to come try out. I went and tried out, and I shined, and I ended up making that team from a tryout situation in rookie minicamp. And, with Canada, I feel the same way. I was down. Pittsburgh, cut me. I got injured, tore some ligaments in my ankle. I was injured, and literally the only team that kind of stayed in contact and stayed with me throughout my recovery process and throughout me getting healthy was Hamilton. And so their offer was consistently on the table, and it was the same the entire time. And so at this point, it was around April-ish, and I had heard from Spencer, and I just felt like I wasn't ready to give up football yet, but I just wasn't sure if I'd get an opportunity in the NFL due to the fact that I had only played 3 years with Pittsburgh on the practice squad. And so I didn't really have a lot of film. And I was already unknown, even in making it to the league. So I was already unknown, and then I just stayed with Pittsburgh and kind of been on a practice squad for a while. So even now, the CFL has only gotten a glimpse of who I am as a player. I'm still this kind of unknown guy, really, to where nobody's hand me the keys and say, you're the man. Nobody said, hey, here, go make plays. It's just always been a grind for me. And I've always just had to, get it when you get a chance,
Yeah.
And so it's been great because I've always been able to rise to the occasion and make plays happen. Whenever they give me a chance, I show up. What more could you ask for? Right.
I know you've been through like a ton of adversity.
Over politics.
There you go. I know you've been through a ton of adversity. Like I know you mentioned in your Instagram that, Northern Michigan was your only college offer, right?
Absolutely.
Pittsburgh was the only NFL team showing interest in you. CFL was the only team.
Ticats, only one. Yeah.
How much does that kind of play into does that give you like a chip on your shoulder when you're playing? You're out to prove people wrong?
Extreme chip. Yeah. Extreme chip. I used to let that drive me crazy. The fact that people don't, I feel like people don't see you for what you're doing on the field sometimes. You know what I mean? Yeah, I really feel that. And that's really in my spirit heavy that I feel like when I step out there, man, it's crazy because I don't know how to explain it, but I really feel that in my spirit that, it's as if they don't see what I'm doing out here, right? But every time I get an opportunity, I show up. Every time they say, we need this play, we need that play, or every, situation they put me in, I go make something happen. And there's something to be said for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think for a lot of athletes that go through this similar thing, it's a thin line that you're drawing between like having a negative and positive perception of it. So like there's some athletes that might have a negative perception where they get like resentful and angry.
Yeah. You get all that.
Yeah.
You feel all that. Every athlete feels all that. Angry, resentful, and then you also feel motivated all at the same time. Yeah. Right? Because you feel angry, you feel resentful, but you feel motivated because at the same time, you think, I know who I am as a player. You know what I mean? I know what I bring to the table. I've been doing this since I was 6 years old. And I've been doing the same thing to everybody on the level of competition that I was on, And so it's funny. It's funny, but it's okay. We're going to keep pedaling and we're going to make it. We're going to be all right. Go get this ring.
Yeah. I was going to say, it's so important to turn that negative energy into positive energy, right? Like the negative energy, it's natural. Everyone's going to feel it. Yeah. You don't want that to be the only thing that's driving you and fill, whole football career with hate and everything. You want to turn it, like you said, to positive motivation. I know, in your time with Pittsburgh, you kind of you spent a lot of time with some of the other receivers there, like AB, some of the other players, obviously Big Ben and, Le'Veon Bell. We can go down the list of pros that play in the Steelers. Yeah. What was some of the biggest mental lessons that you learned from those guys when you're spent those 3 years in Pittsburgh?
The first thing that I learned in Pittsburgh was paying attention to the details. That was the first lesson that I learned. And I learned that lesson not from an AB or from a Ben Roethlisberger or from a Le'Veon Bell. I learned to pay attention to the details from a guy by the name of Darius Hayward-Bay.
Mm-hmm. I spent some time on the Raiders too.
Yeah, he spent some time on the Raiders. Yeah. He was a I want to say first or second draft pick or something like that. No, seventh.
He was definitely like top 10.
Yeah, he was he was a top 10 pick for sure. Went like 4.2 something at the combine, just he's unreal fast. out of Maryland. Yeah, still fast. And he pulled me to the side. He was the first one in the receiver core group. He actually came out to rookie minicamp. And he was watching rookie minicamp. And I ended up making a team or whatever. He saw us playing or whatever. And then I ended up making a team. So minicamp was on the weekend. The Monday, we started doing team workouts and things of that nature. And he saw me. And he pulls me to the side. And he says, listen, he said, I see a lot of talent in you and I see a lot of potential. He said, the biggest thing that's going to separate you right now is paying attention to the details. He said, you got to do the little things that the other players won't do. And the reason why you have to do the little things is because you come from a little school, because of your situation, because of how you gotten here. And so that's nothing that I run from. That's nothing that I'm shy away from. And I feel like that him pulling me to the side and saying that, it really calmed my spirit because I felt a lot of anxiety. I felt like I was constantly just like, oh my God, am I going to be here? Any type of mistake, you feel as if like, oh shit, I'm going home. Damn, I'm going home. You drop a ball, damn, I'm going home. You run the wrong route, damn, I'm going home. You slip out of your break, damn, I'm going home. You miss a block, damn, I'm going home. Mm-hmm. You don't run the first rep like you ran the second rep. You're like, damn, I'm going home. So when you literally fighting for your life on the field on a daily basis, it's a lot that comes with that. And for him to say, listen, you got all the tools that you need. The only thing that I can see is that you need to pay attention to the details. That was huge to me. That meant the world to me. So shout out to DHB for doing that.
Yeah. I think that really comes up with a good point. I was even thinking about it, with the whole combine thing and going out, and a lot of people they only look at the physical stats of a player when they judge them as an athlete.
Yeah.
You're a bit like, leaders in the locker room and how much they mean. I mean, it's so important in a team like football where there's like 53 players on a team or whatever, probably a bit different in the CFL, but I think it just goes to show that you can't judge a football player just based off of, or their value to their team based off of like, how fast they run, how many catches they have. It's the leadership qualities, because I'm sure, DHB did that with you, and there's probably countless examples of other veterans taking rookies and stuff under their wings. And
sure.
The rookies wouldn't be where they are without that guidance from a veteran.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and we even have that in our locker room in Canada, Speedy B does that with a lot of the younger guys that he sees potential in. Masoli does that. Dane will do that. You know what I mean? So, that's what football is, man. And I think that that's kind of more of my style and how I would run mine. I mean, that's how I would want to be. I want to be the DHB. I want to be the guy that pulls these younger guys to the side and say, hey, man, listen, I've been in your shoes. You know what I mean? And some of these guys, I've been in worse situations than what you are, And so you got to understand that this is just the game of football, and that's how it goes. We can't cry about the hand we dealt. We just got to play it.
Yeah, and even on that point, it's not just about football. It's about life in general. And you kind of went into Pittsburgh as quote unquote kid, as a rookie growing up, and you grew up throughout your career, and now you're like the role model, right? So when you're taking other rookies under your wing, it's just it's so interesting how the mentality and stuff of athletes, as it grows, you're not only improving as an athlete but as a person and every day
as a person. And I think that's the dopest thing about our game, right? Football, whether it's CFL, any team sport, really. But the biggest thing to me about football that I love more than anything is that it reveals true character of who a person is. You know what I mean? If you watch a person play, it's all you need to know literally about who they are as a person. Literally. Who they are on that field with that helmet on or whatever it is that they're doing. I'll say this for example. You watch LeBron James, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody watch basketball, right? Mm-hmm. So you watch LeBron James and you see how great he is, right? You see how great of a player he is. One of the greatest of all time. He's probably going to be on the Mount Rushmore of basketball. And this guy, when it comes game time, when it comes down to the wire, right? And this is why a lot of people hate him, and this is why a lot of people love him. What LeBron James is going to do is make the right basketball decision. Mm-hmm. He's going to make the right basketball play, whether that means he's going to shoot it, whether that means he's going to pass it, whether that means he's going to get the rebound, whether that means he's going to go to the basket. He's going to make the right basketball play in the situation, right? Mm-hmm. And he's the same way off the field. Because although people hate him because he's so great, right? And you're thinking, oh, you're so great. You should take the last shot every time, all the time. You should be you get what I'm saying? Right? So people don't like that about him. But honestly, it's just not his character. Look at the people around him. He not only lifted himself out of poverty and brought, from his hometown or whatever, he brought 5 of his best friends along with him. His main guy, Maverick Carter, right now, is a young multimillionaire, black multimillionaire. Not because, what I'm saying, he individually in himself is just grinded and been this, forced to get where he is, but simply because LeBron used his situation, right, to bless somebody else's situation, right? And that literally is who he is. That is who he is on the court, and that is who he is off the court. He's always the first one cheering for his teammates. He's always the first one getting up, jumping around. You feel what I'm saying? That's just who he is, man. So he's always going to make the right decision on and off the court. And I'm telling you right now, that's exactly how team sports are.
Yeah. And I think maybe some people might not, they might think it's easier said than done to cheer for your teammates, but I can envision there's a couple athletes maybe out there, especially in football, where you're in a situation where you're all competing for one roster spot. I mean, you try and be as friendly as possible, but there's still that bit of like competitive nature, right? But I think it's just again, going through that, you know, kind of personal development as a person. It allows you to take that step back and, you know, not have that huge ego and think, you know, the teams can make the decision that puts them in the best position to be. Not that you can't be upset about the decision, but just like how LeBron James, he'll pass up the last shot, right? If he wanted all the fame in the world, he'd take those last shots, but putting the team in front of him, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Exactly. I know. I was going through your Instagram. It's pretty cool to see that you had a couple videos of you playing the piano on there. How long have you been playing the piano for?
Man, I've been playing the piano since I was around 15, 16 years old. No, later than that, probably 17 or 18 when I started.
Late bloomer, yeah.
Yeah, like I kind of got into it. I come from a church family. My mom is a psalmist, minister now, actually, which is crazy, insane. My mom is a gospel recording artist, national gospel recording artist, psalmist. My dad is a musician for the church. And so he's been playing and we've been singing and all my sisters singing the choir and, you know, they do drama and musicals and all that stuff. So music has always just been in my life. I do music myself. But yeah, man, I picked up the piano around 17, 18 years old because I grew up in a musical family and, you know, I got to the point where I was like, I'm kind of interested in this now and I want to see what I could do. And so I honestly got on it and just started learning songs that I liked. I honestly got on YouTube, then figured out, okay, how to play this, how to play that. And then what you start to learn is a lot of these chords and these chord progressions are the same. And then you are able to put one thing with another thing. And then all of a sudden, like you're playing by ear and you're like, oh, I can hear this song. I know what key that's in. I know what, and it's insane. It blew me away. I didn't even know I had all that in me. But once I started doing it, it just started happening.
I think it's super cool when I see athletes like post stuff like that, because I think there's some media perception out there. Obviously, I don't, you know, think like this, but there's obviously some people that do. They look at an athlete as just an athlete, right? They don't look at the person behind the helmet or behind the mask. Yeah, it's really cool just kind of when you put that stuff out to see, like, you know, football isn't the end all be all at the moment for you, right? You got other things going on in your life, other hobbies and stuff. And you see it, you know, just in the media in general.
Absolutely. I agree with that 1,000%. You know, people in the media is so funny. They act as if you can't have a life outside of football. I've seen a lot of that while I was in Pittsburgh. I saw a lot of that while I was with my boy, Le'Veon Bell, where people's commenting and blowing up his Instagram and Twitter and everything. Like, stop rapping, bro. You should be working on your football. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Football. And it's like, literally, football is our job. And we love our job, right? But football is our job. So we go in there at 6 a.m. and we're leaving at 4:00 in the afternoon. I'm not trying to go home and deal with more football. When I go home, I want to be able to indulge in my other interests, in my other hobbies, in my other things, you know? And I feel like people don't understand that. And listen, if you go flip 17 burgers at McDonald's an hour and then you get off of work, you don't want to go home and put McDoubles on the grill. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You want to go home and do something else. So man, it's just insane that people can't grasp that concept, but it is what it is. You let them live life. It happened with Juju too. They hate that Juju play video games.
Yeah, playing some Fortnite and stuff.
Yeah, like, you know, I'm mad that he posted videos and have a good time and living life. Like, what do y'all want him to do?
Yeah. It also, I mean, it's important, I think, for athletes to do that, because at the end of the day, they're going to have to retire at some point, right? And if
oh yeah, for sure,
all you know is football, or whatever sport you play, of course, and you retire, you have nothing else set up, then like you're lost again, right? And it's probably really kind of get in that bit.
It's going to be tough.
Depression, yeah. So yeah. For the piano playing, is there anything about playing the piano mentally that's translated to the football field for you?
Mentally, that translated from the football field. No, I mean, I would say this. Football to me was the first thing that I did and loved. I started playing football at 5 or 6 years old. So with me playing football at 5, 6 years old, I equate everything else like back to football, which you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so I don't do it in the opposite way. Like while I'm playing the piano, I'd be like, how the fuck does this, I'd be like, how does this relate to football? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'm like, okay, so this is getting hard for me. How do I equate this to, me being in a weight room? And like, I know I don't like lifting weights, but I understand that if I lift weights, I'll be better, right? So this equates to me when I'm playing the keyboard. So I'll learn something that's difficult with my fingers, right? I would keep doing it and keep repping it and keep doing the same with weights, keep lifting it, keep going, keep repping it, because I understand that even though I'm doing this for this song, for some song, right? For some song, I know that this is ultimately going to help me down the road when I'm trying to do something else for another,
Right.
And so I honestly end up equating everything more so back to the game of football rather than, seeing how the piano helps me with football. I see how football helps me with the piano.
That's pretty interesting. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Last thing I'll touch on this subject is, we talked about like, having a life out of football and stuff like that. And I think there's really not, a good grasp out there in the media of like how much mental fatigue is involved in playing a sport. Obviously the physical fatigue you can see, you can't always see the mental fatigue, right? And as an athlete, I would imagine that some athletes are probably a bit hesitant to come out about, any sort of mental fatigue or anything like that they have, because they want to seem tough or, whatever it may be. I think I just want people to kind of get a sense that, football players, like you said, you're in 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. on a practice day, for example. Game day is probably even crazier. And when you come home, you need that time for your mind to relax and recharge and then, get ready for the next day. Because otherwise that's, how you see athletes and just people in general burn out. And then it's never a good situation.
Yeah. Man, I would just piggyback off that situation and to just say that I just want people to know that it's okay to take a break. It's okay to mentally grasp yourself, and it's okay to get help. It's okay, whatever you're going through emotionally, in your brain, whatever you got going on, man, it's okay. Go see a therapist. Go get help. Go figure it out. When the offseason hit, take time to yourself. People got to understand that you need time to just relax and take your mind off of the game for a while so that it can rejuvenate you. And most of the time you sit back and you catch the understanding of why you're doing what you're doing in the first place.
Does the bye week help with that a lot in the middle of the season?
Bye weeks help a little, yeah.
Yeah, just a little, yeah.
A little. Because physically and mentally, you can kind of get off, especially if you're not injured, you can kind of get off your feet a little bit and just relax for a while. Yeah. So bye weeks definitely help. They're major.
Yeah. Anyways, man, I don't want to take too much of your time. I know it's getting pretty late here, but really appreciate you kind of coming on and speaking a bit about, the mental, things that athletes go through. And I think it's really important. The main takeaway that I took from this really is just how, mentally draining the game of football is and just sports in general. And that, it's okay for athletes out there that if they need a break, to take a break, because their mind can only push so far before it needs to rest.
For sure. Jordan took a break.
You get tired. Yeah.
Jordan took a break in the middle of one of the greatest runs of all time. Won 3 back-to-back, took a break, came back and won 3 more. You know what I mean? But I mean, he's Jordan. He was tired. He was worked diligently, excessively, over compulsively for what he was trying to get accomplished. And that man did it. But at the end of the day, that doesn't mean he wasn't drained. That doesn't mean mentally he was just, he had to, everything that he was going through, he had to stop. Mm-hmm. And sometimes as athletes, right, because we're in the game of football, because we're in I lie to you not, man. This is the truth. I lost my cousin. I lost my cousin's boyfriend, one of my homeboys. And I lost my auntie. All in the span of 3 months. At one of them every month. And I was in the middle of the season.
Sorry to hear that. I mean, that's a tough situation. Yeah.
Yeah. And guess what? When you're dealing with football, it's like, no, we got a game today. So you don't even get time, or you got a game this week. So you got to prepare. Like, you got to practice. You got to get right. You can't be focused. So we literally, as football players, as athletes, sometimes, as athletes in general, we don't get time. We don't have the time to really diagnose and process our own feelings. We kind of just have to put it to the side for a minute and focus on what's going on right now. And then once everything is all over, now we have to figure out, okay, how do I feel about the fact that 2 months ago my auntie died? And I'm just, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm,
and I couldn't even be there at the funeral. I couldn't even, you know what I mean? I couldn't do anything because I'm literally mid-season. I'm all the way in Canada. Man, it's insane.
Yeah.
But this is the type of things that happen. You know, it's life. Yeah. And we're people too. And just like I would encourage a person working a 9 to 5 to go see somebody for mental health, you know, personal care, personal health. It's I don't know how I could express, you know what I mean, how to get people to like really hone in and take initiative for your own health, because you're not just trying to be healthy physically. You must be a complete body. We are mind, body, and spirit. That's all who we are. You know, this mind is attached to this body, you know, and at the end of the day, if your mind is not healthy, your body is not healthy at all. And that's fact.
Yeah.
I remember my cousin was dating this girl. I'm sorry, I keep on talking.
No, man. This is good. This is good stuff, man.
My cousin was dating this girl, and they had broke up, right? And he was literally heartbroken. His stomach literally started overproducing acid in his stomach because he wasn't eating. So because mentally you're so in love with this girl and now you're heartbroken, mentally now it's starting to affect you physically. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so what we don't do is, in our community, right, in the Black community, we don't say, hey, listen, man, go get some help. Go see a therapist. Go talk to someone. You know what I mean? We say, oh, you weak. You know what I mean? Oh, that's weak. Oh, that ain't it. You get what I'm saying? And,
yeah.
And I just want everybody, any athlete, any person, period, man, you focus, get your mental health together. You know what I mean? Figure it out what it is, because purpose is what's going to allow you to prosper in this lifestyle. And I tell people that all the time. It's not about a dollar amount unless a dollar amount is your purpose. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not always about money. It's not always about all that other stuff, man. Just get your mental right so that you can walk in your complete purpose and keep pedaling.
Man, I couldn't have put it better than myself there. And I think you really hit the nail on the head there. And really talking about how much of a crossover there is with like football or sports in general and just your life in general. If you're dealing with like something mentally in your game that's kind of weighing you down, there's more than likely something weighing you down in your life as well, like your personal life and everything. And, you know, you just might not realize it, for example. But the whole kind of breakup thing, I bet you there's been a lot of instances of athletes where, you know, they get cut from a team or something, or, you know, they grew up a certain fan of a team and they don't draft them. And, you know, it's almost like a breakup in that sense, right? And that's,
right. Yeah, for real. It's true.
It's just crazy how much of a parallel, I guess, there is between sports and life in general. So I really couldn't put it better myself the way you just put it there.
Yeah, same. I mean, that was just from I don't even know how to.
Yeah. it comes through years of being in your position and seeing.
I don't even know how to I don't even know what to say about it. Thank you, but yeah, it's just it's from the heart, man. I just want people to be okay.
Yeah, man. I wish you guys the best of luck this season. Obviously, I'll have a bit of a front row seat here. I know, I can tell already, not only, physical, but the mental side of your game is so strong. I know you have such a huge season this year. So nothing but my best wishes for this year. And this was a lot of fun. We'll have to do it again sometime.
Hey, man, no doubt.